Michael with United Veterans Worldwide, excited to be with Leisa Price today, again, our certified dietitian, and she has graciously agreed to help us make a meal that we've talked about in our discussions previously with Leisa, especially when we talk about quinoa, right? And so I'll just kind of show the quinoa that's already been cooked. And this type of a meal, if the preparation is done ahead of time with like the quinoa being cooked, the cutting of the vegetables is a quick process to get this nutrient-dense food into our bodies. And again, if we talk the Mediterranean diet and we talk about the nutrition it provides to our brain health, this is something that we both encourage people to follow. I've lost weight. I feel good energy-wise. Lisa's been following this for a while and she encourages this. My wife's doctor suggested this as well, and same with my sister. So all of this information is out there for people to grab hold of this nutrients and run with it. Leisa, why don't you walk us through your expertise, your introduction again, for everybody who's new to the channel, hasn't seen you before, and introduce us into the recipe we're going to be making today.
Perfect. So I'm Leisa. I am a registered dietitian, which is not to be confused with a nutritionist.
Corrected.
So a dietitian is someone who is trained and certified. We have to pass an exam. We have to do continuing education because nutrition is a constantly changing world. So we have to stay up to date on all those new developments. So today we are going to make a quinoa Mediterranean salad. All right.
Yeah.
So I like this recipe because it's meat-free. There's no meat in it. You could add meat if you wanted to, but you don't need it because your quinoa is a complete protein. So that means it has all the 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to thrive. And it's hard to get that in a grain.
Oh, yeah.
You can get it in other ways, but quinoa is just one of those that it has it all. So I've already cooked our quinoa. The key to quinoa, people say they don't like it, and I always remind them they need to rinse it first. If you don't rinse it before you cook it, it can taste bitter.
I'm going to take notes as you speak so that I'm on the right track with this in the future.
Perfect. So you want to rinse it, give it a good rinse until the water runs clear from it. And then actually it's so easy to cook. I think it's easier to cook than rice. But if you don't like quinoa, again, this is such a versatile recipe. You could sub for rice or bulgur or like a short grain pasta, whatever you really need.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing I like to do with my quinoa is cook it in a broth. So it adds a little bit of flavor just to that grain instead of just tasting the grain. So this I cooked in a little bit of chicken broth. You could do vegetable broth, whatever kind of broth you want, just to add a little extra flavor and just get that base of the recipe off to a good start.
Yeah, great,
okay?
Great.
So we're going to chop some vegetables here. So I have a couple of peppers, just a red and orange pepper. I think we've talked before about eating the rainbow.
Yes.
So this is going to be a super colorful recipe. We got our peppers. We're going to cut up some cucumber. I have an English cucumber, and then my nice neighbors actually brought me these lemon cucumbers, so we're going to throw some of those in there.
Oh, very fun.
Because they're delicious and they're fresh from the garden.
Oh, very cool.
And I feel like you can't go wrong with produce from the garden.
That's right.
We've got some green onions, we've got some chickpeas we're going to add, some Kalamata olives, a little sprinkle of feta just for that tanginess and creaminess.
Fireworks are going off. This is exciting. Exciting.
It likes the feta.
It does.
And then we'll just whip up a quick vinaigrette dressing not quite a vinaigrette, but a little dressing to go over the top, and it'll be delicious.
I'll follow your instructions, so you direct me.
Okay, do you want to work on the dressing while I start chopping?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we have some extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
So you're going to add that to this bowl.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll try to get this into the shot here too, so the whole thing, extra virgin olive oil.
Yeah, so that's about a 1/4 cup of that. You don't have to be exact. That's the nice thing about cooking, is you just kind of wing it.
I like this.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to cut this lemon in half for you, and you're going to squeeze the lemon into there. I like fresh lemon juice versus bottled lemon juice.
Yeah.
Just because you really can tell a difference in the taste.
Yeah, there's something about lemons that adds so much color and context to the foods we eat, right?
Yes.
And it's, I don't know how many calories are in a lemon, but it's hardly anything.
Well, and when you're just squeezing that juice in, it's such a great way to add flavor without adding any extra fat, any extra sodium. And you're right, it's just like a really fresh, nice flavor.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
So we're going to add that lemon. You could even add the lemon zest if you're really into lemons.
Oh, yeah.
But today we're just going to do the juice.
And it smells so good.
Oh, my goodness. So good. Makes your hands smell good. If you ever chop garlic and You need that garlic smell to go away. Just
Just do a lemon.
juice a lemon.
That's great.
So while you're doing that, I'm just cutting these into chunks. It doesn't have to be precise. It's just kind of however you like your peppers cut.
Okay.
Okay? They can be small, they can be big. I like them a little big because I like a little bite.
I have to smell this. Oh yeah.
Smells good?
Oh yeah.
Okay, we're going to do some fresh ground pepper. If you want to put some of that in there.
Okay.
Or do you need a towel?
Maybe just a quick one. I got juice all over my hands. Okay, so fresh ground pepper.
Yes.
How much?
Eyeball it.
Eyeball it.
We're eyeballing today.
Okay.
So if you like pepper, do lots. If you're not so into pepper, then just a little bit. It looks pretty good. Okay, and then we're going to do some oregano. So a teaspoon of oregano.
Okay.
And this
1
is-
teaspoon is 5 milliliters.
Yes. And honestly, again, you don't really have to measure it.
Okay.
You can just, put some in your palm and do it to taste even. I like oregano, so I'm like, the more the better.
Yeah, it smells
Oregano
good.
and lemon is a great
It
combination.
smells so good.
And then we're going to do some salt. So I have salt in there. This is just kosher salt.
Okay.
I
How does this contraption work?
my little salt cellar. Just open that lid up.
And we're just doing pinches?
Yeah, just do a pinch. And then maybe just a little bit more.
Okay.
And then I have a whisk there. You can just whisk that all together.
Okay.
And that's our dressing. It's easy.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's brilliant.
And again, that's super flexible. If you didn't want lemon, you could do like red wine vinegar or another type of vinegar. You just want a little bit of that acidity.
Remember, guys, that this being on video is something that you can use to your advantage. If you watch us make this now, you can easily rewind and look at it again. Write this down as you go. It smells wonderful already, and we've just begun.
It's that lemon. It'll get you every time.
Now look how nicely this turns out right here.
Yeah, once you start whisking it, it all mixes together, and then we'll just add it to our salad when we're all done.
One of the nice things about making the food at home like this from scratch, from different ingredients that are easy to obtain, is that we know what goes into it. We know that there aren't additional processed foods or chemicals or dyes or anything else. This is better than buying it at the store. It's not made in a large factory that also makes peanuts and other things in there too, and so you're just getting your ingredients that you want in your recipe.
Right, and you can make it to your taste. If you don't like red bell peppers, don't have red bell peppers.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, if you don't like pepper, then don't put too much pepper. I love pepper.
Same.
I pepper.
Same.
Pepper.
The more pepper, the better. If you don't like cucumber, you could sub, like some zucchini squash. This really is, it is your recipe, so make it how you like it.
Yeah, well, zucchini squash would be great too. Sure.
All right, I'm just chopping up some green onion here. We're going to use the white part and the green part.
Yeah.
Because we like both.
That's awesome. And guys, while she's chopping this up, I wanted to talk to us a little bit about macros again today. Leisa focused very heavily last time we talked, and it was summer, so it was very bright. Both of us were wearing sunglasses, right? We were sitting on a bench in the park with the backdrop. And we talked about the macros that we would need for our bodies to be properly healthy, right? Any diet, we've said before, that requires us to limit one of the 3 types of macros would be insufficient for what our body needs to be healthy and strong. So we're talking proteins, we're talking carbohydrates, and we're talking fats. So I'm going to talk a little bit about calculating the proper amount that you would need for your body. Now, some of the best advice I received recently from a GI doctor, she said to me that when it comes to how much food you consume, the best ideal is to pay attention to what your body's asking for. So I kind of thought that was like funny advice from somebody who could tell me exactly what my body needed, maybe. But I followed it for a day and I said, okay, let's wait until my body tells me what it needs. So my body was like, hey, you need some protein. I was like, okay, some chicken. Hey, your body needs some vegetables. All right, let's grab that real quick. Hey, you need some fruit. And I did that throughout the day. And by the end of the day, I looked back on the course of my meals, and I'd eaten 4 or 5 times a day, and I said, well, surely surely the scale in the morning is going to show something drastically different than what I've been tracking for a while. And it was drastic. It was drastic on the lower end, meaning I fed my body what it was needing that day, and it ended up burning additional fat to help me get down and weight a little bit more.
Yep.
I was absolutely shocked.
In the nutrition world, we call it intuitive eating.
Ah, intuitive eating. I need to make a t-shirt that says that.
We're all about listening to your body.
Yes.
And giving it what it needs.
You know, I made a video this last week about finishing with an exercise and feeling pretty drained. And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to go out and do a cardio session today. My body's tired. So you listen to your body when it comes to your fitness. You listen to your body when it comes to your nutrition. It'll tell you what you need when you need it.
It will. Our bodies are smart.
That was fast.
Yeah. So I just chopped all those veggies, and it didn't take long.
No, you were very fast.
So what we have in here, just a reminder, is quinoa. We have some cucumbers. We got some bell peppers, and then some green onion. I'm also going to add some Kalamata olives. Do you like Kalamata olives?
I love them.
Okay.
Love them.
They're kind of like a tangy, but I love the tang.
Yeah.
So
that's the nice thing about the Mediterranean meal plan, is that you're combining so many different flavors. It reminds me of a cartoon my kids liked to watch a while ago, Ratatouille.
yes.
This rat that runs through the streets and loves to combine cheese and different bitter and sour tastes together, and it produces fireworks.
Yes.
And that's what meals like this do for me personally. It feels like fireworks in my mouth.
Right, and you get a little bit of everything, right? You get some sweet from the cucumber, you get the tangy from the olives, you get the crunch from the bell pepper. It's just about that variety that's really going to satisfy you.
So when we talk about the macros, let's pay attention to what we have in the bowl right here. We have a lot of vegetables, which are your carbs. We have the olives, which are your fats. We have the quinoa, which is your proteins that Lisa's already covered. So when you look at those three macros, you have a very equal balance in this bowl as a whole for what you need. So when I start to talk about calculating, we're looking at about 30 to 40% of our consumption each day should be proteins. 30 to 50% should be carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates. And then you're looking at around 20 grams or less, 20% of it being fats.
Right.
So this meal right here would cover your basis for your meal, for covering down on all three of those.
It would, and you didn't even add any meat to it.
Oh my goodness.
I'm also going to throw some chickpeas in here.
I love it.
So that's a little more
Love them.
carb and protein. And then at the end, like I said, we'll just sprinkle on a little feta.
Yeah.
To top it off, make it look pretty.
Now, Lisa, do you have an air fryer?
I do.
Okay. So have you fried your chickpeas and
I
then
made
put
them
in?
so crunchy.
Oh my goodness, they are so divine.
They're so good. And that honestly would be so yummy in here for a little extra crunch.
Yeah.
That would be a really good addition to this.
You guys, it's so fun to make foods in your own kitchen, having prepared the recipe ahead of time in terms of what you need in ingredients. And then you can start to play with the textures, the tastes, the variety, and that adds so much additional spice and joy to what you're doing for eating. Because food is really a social event.
It is.
Right?
It is, and it should be. It's something that we can share with the people around us and enjoy eating together. And I don't think there's much better than good food and good conversation.
No. I love it.
Okay, I'm going to have you add the dressing.
Okay. Let me give this a
drizzle
little
that
whisk
on
again.
top, and then we'll stir it up and sprinkle on some feta, and that's our recipe.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
And really, we used a cup of quinoa, and look how much salad that made.
And that's what it was when you cooked it, was a cup?
1 cup. Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. We want to get all of that lemon out of there too.
Delicious.
Perfect.
It really does smell so good in here.
Yeah, guys, I wish you could smell it because it has so much aroma that is just divine.
And when we talk about eating the rainbow,
how do you improve on that?
No, you can't.
Yeah, that's
You really can't. Okay, do you want to sprinkle some feta on top?
Yeah, let's do it. So how do you usually do this? Do you crumble it?
Yeah, unless you like big chunks. Really, however you like it. Again, it's just flexible.
Yeah.
But I kind of like smaller so it's spread more evenly, throughout the salad. And then you could add some fresh oregano if you have that on hand. You really can just be so versatile with this.
You guys, this feta is so good for you. I love it. I'm gonna wash my hand on
Towel.
this. Now I'll just do a quick rinse. Voila. And there we have it.
There we have it.
I'm gonna move this beautiful microphone out of the way so it's more visible. That is incredible. Yeah, everything's captured. So let's talk for a second the calculations for
Perfect.
macros.
Let's do it.
I have my notes with me so that I stay on track. When we talk about calculating macros, we're really looking at what people's goals are. And in a society where obesity, diabetes, all of these epidemics are now going global. They're not just U.S. Right? I've talked in a previous video about going to Africa. I was in Kenya, I think, and I got a thing of soda, and I looked at the contents in the soda, and I think the sugars were almost 2 to 3 times more sugar than we have here in the United States. And if I go to Canada, the sugar's less than the United States. So it's crazy how the food industry is continuing to change their ingredients up to make us more addicted to some of these products. So when we talk about goals for macros, if your goal is to lose weight, which majority of people who are looking at this are going to say, how do I lose the unwanted body fat? How do I feel better about who I am? We're going to want to calculate that based on a couple of criteria, one of which is to know first what you do for activity. If you're sedentary, if you're sitting around all day, if you're slightly active, and I think the other categories are moderately active or very active, then it's going to change on how much you need to be in a deficit. So when we say deficit, we're talking about not eating as much food. Right? Even healthy food like this, if eaten in excess, would have the same effect. Mind you, it takes a lot longer because it's healthier food. Your body wants to burn it. But would have the same effect on our bodies, right? So we want to talk about good portion sizes. My guess is that for a majority of us, especially Americans, it's less about the size of the portion and it's more about what the ingredients are that we're consuming. So if that's the case, we want to start to cut some of our proteins, our carbs, our fats each day down to a certain amount. So it's not healthy to do a diet where you're cutting 40% of your ingredients out. For one, it's not sustainable for our bodies, energy-wise, our mind, our brain processes. So recommendation is you don't do a decrease of your macros any more than 20% max. So if that's the goal, then if you look at what I've done over the past 2 months since meeting with Leisa, I started the Mediterranean diet. I started to take my nutrition seriously and cutting out processed foods. It has been a slow decline, and I go up a little bit because it goes up a little bit, then it goes down 2 pounds, and it goes up a little bit, goes down another pound. And it's been like this, and its trajectory is still heading that same direction. Despite the fact, guys, that I'm still lifting heavy every day. And you've seen those workout videos. So how do I continue to lose while I'm still lifting heavy? It's because of what I'm eating is quality nutrition, right?
I always like to remind people too that think of how long it took you to put the weight on. It's going to take a similar amount of time to take it off. You know, as nice as it would be to lose that all overnight, it takes time to put weight on and it takes time to take it off. So try not to get frustrated. If you feel like that's so slow, just 2 pounds, 2 pounds is still 2 pounds. And if you're feeding your body healthy, that's what it's really all about.
Yeah, that's a great point. We're not looking for quick fixes here. We haven't from the beginning. We've always tried to have a long-term vision for our wellness journey. That includes mental health, it includes fitness, it includes nutrition as well. So no drastic changes. The same is true for fitness. If I were to go outside right now and say I'm going to go run a marathon, I might die in the process, but it wouldn't be realistic because I wouldn't be able to do anything else physical the rest of the week. I would be so sore. So what we're talking about is measured effects, little by little, long-term vision that says, hey, in a year, if I didn't get on the scale for a full year and I ate clean and I ate stuff that my body and my mind called for, what would be the effect? And I could tell you right now, it would be freaking amazing. So when we talk about people who are lifting weights and doing heavy stuff, For me, I'm looking at 1.2 grams of protein per body pound. So today I'm weighing about 206, something like that. And so I would need to do the math to correlate that. So here's how it works. I would take my weight in pounds currently, so 206. I would multiply that by how many calories I want to eat each day, or how many calories I want to be deficient each day in my diet.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, who I would say I am probably, oh Hades, I'm probably more very active right now versus moderately active. I've increased that a little bit. So I would still go maybe 12 calories times the 12 calories a day would give me that number. Go on to the next calculation. We take our body weight in pounds and we multiply how much protein we would need. So if I'm saying 1.2 times 206 pounds would be my protein amount, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
It is a lot. If we want to go to our carbs, we're going to look at our carbs per day, the amount that we've said from our calories, which is 4 grams of carbs per one. How does it work?
So there's 4 calories per 1 gram of carb.
Okay.
So you can calculate it that way, or you can take your percentage, right? If you want like 40% of your diet from carbs, you can go that way also.
Okay. And that's probably the easier way to go.
Yeah.
Is to do that percentage-wise, right?
So then you'd take 0.4 times how many calories you're eating. That's your percentage, or how many calories from carbs, and then you're going to divide that by 4.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Write down what she said and not what I said.
Put calculations somewhere.
So that's essentially how you do it. And now there are other calculations where we would look at, and again, like we're talking fats, we're saying around 20% of what you ingest should be the fats, the healthy fats. The avocado, the olive oil, avocado oil. What other things do you advocate for?
Like the feta would be a fat.
Fish.
Fish would have fat in it. Nuts would have fat in them.
Your occasional beef, although Mediterranean, we're trying not to consume that regularly.
Right, that's more rare, but
it would have more fat in there as well for flavor, right?
Yeah.
There are additional calculations if a person's trying to really bulk up. But I'm not advocating for that. I don't think Leisa is either. We want to maintain a healthy form with the right amount of food, nutrition to help our bodies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just remember, progress is progress no matter how small. So
that's right. Long-term vision, long-term roadmap for fitness, nutrition, mental health, spiritual journey. All of it takes time. It all takes incremental effort to make improvements each day.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Good. Well, Leisa, thanks so much for doing this today.
Yeah.
This looks wonderful. Can't wait to get into this. And I'm not going to eat in front of you on this channel here today, but please like, subscribe, and share. Let's all do this journey together, and let's all improve our mental health, our physical health, and our emotional health. Make connections like Leisa and I are doing here today, and do it over food that's nutritious and good for your body and your mind.
And share it with those you love.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Bye.